Yeah, a lot of businesses in downtown Naples are closed up right now. They're boarded up. As that storm gets closer, it's going to be a very dangerous situation. But there is one business that is still open. A lot of people coming out here as the storm approaches. We're at the Old Naples All-American Sports Bar and Grill. And I have the owner here, Gordon. Gordon, how are you doing this afternoon?
We're having a wonderful time here. We're waiting for Irma.
No, a lot of businesses are closed right now. You guys are still open. How did you come to that decision? Why are you guys still open?
Well, we're a neighborhood bar here. It's all locals, all regulars here. We're trying to get the community to stay together. There you go.
We've got Wink News on here in the bar. They can see us on here live right now. So have you ever been through a hurricane before?
I have not. No, this is the first one. Yeah. We're excited.
Yeah. Now, this is an emergency situation. What concerns do you have? Why should people still be taking this seriously, in your opinion?
Well, it's definitely a serious situation. I think after tonight, everybody's going to understand that. The biggest concern is obviously the water. I don't think we're afraid of the wind or anything else but the water. So.
All right, we hope everybody here stays safe. We're going to send it back to you guys. And, you know, despite these scenes here, we want to remind everybody, take steps to stay safe. Be ready for the storm because it is a very serious situation. Live in Naples, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now.
So, Channing, can I ask you, can you hear us? Can I ask you one quick question?
Yes.
Where exactly is
Sure.
that bar?
This is pretty close to the downtown area, very near the evacuation zone, actually. I talked to a number of people who are actually in this bar, and they told me, yes, I'm in the evacuation zone. I left my home behind because it's at 14 feet above the water, and they're anticipating 15 feet of water, some of those homes nearby. So a lot of these people live in Naples. They're staying with friends who have homes that are 2 or 3 floors above the ground. So despite the dangerous threats, people here are feeling safe. They are taking steps to stay safe, and they say they're going to be hunkering down once those winds and rains start to move through here.
Okay, thank you, Channing. That's very comforting to hear that they all have plans to go to a safe place.
Yeah, Chris, it is absolutely pouring here. One of those stronger bands is moving through right now. I was just looking at the radar on the Wink News weather app. Those outer feeder bands are starting to move in. I think I hear thunder coming in. There might be some lightning strikes out there, so we're going to take cover soon. But yeah, we're on 5th Avenue South, right in downtown Naples. It's kind of weird. You can see the Christmas lights that are on behind me, the trees. The power is clearly still on here. Just across the street, businesses are boarded up, and right next to me here, I can see sandbags and some kind of bags blocking the doors here. So the business is not taking any chances here, getting ready for the flooding that is forecast for this area. And the wind's not too intense right here, but they are stronger down by the Naples Pier, which is where we were earlier. That pier is closed because the winds and the waves that are expected with the stronger bands coming through here eventually. We were out there today as some strong bands blew through. The United States Geological Survey installed a storm surge monitor to keep track of the rising water. And we talked with the City of Naples mayor about what his major concerns are going into tonight. What are your biggest concerns right now?
Storm surge. That is a big concern for everybody, especially where we're standing and the neighborhoods here, businesses on 5th and 3rd. So hopefully the predictions are going to be off by a little bit and we don't get that.
Yeah. And hopefully these streets don't get any more flooded than the rain that's falling on them right now. I asked him what advice he would give to homeowners and people who are staying in the Naples area to ride out Hurricane Irma. He said, you better get to an interior part of your house and you better be on high land because this water is coming up and those winds are going to pick up going into tomorrow. I asked him where he's going to ride out the storm. He says he and his family have some space in the Hilton where they're going to be safe and secure as this severe weather event progresses. And we're going to be checking with other people here in the Naples area throughout the night to keep you posted. Live in Naples, downtown, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now. Yeah, we're at the Naples Grand Resort. It's in North Naples, actually, and we're starting to see some debris accumulate. We're down in the pool area. The pool area is closed. All of the pool chairs are put away. The pool lights are still on in the pool. It's a little too dark to show you right now, but look at this. This looks like it's a piece of a palm tree that got blown by the squall. It was just pouring here 2 minutes ago. It's lighting up now, but the winds, they're picking up here. They have been throughout the day. It's very dark back this street. This is on the way back to the Clam Pass Park. If you've been back here, it's very dark here at night, especially with our hotel where there are no lights on. There are very few people staying here. They've asked a lot of people to leave. We actually have one guest that keeps visiting us here. I don't see it right now. There's a raccoon that actually keeps coming up here and checking us out, checking out my photographer. This hotel has taken every precaution that they can to keep people who are here safe, and they've actually told us that if the winds pick up too much tonight, they'll be moving people from the upper floors down into the ballroom on the second floor, which is about, by my estimation, about 50 feet above sea level, which would be good because we're only about a half a mile away from the Gulf of Mexico. And when that storm surge starts to come up, like we've been predicting that it would tomorrow, well, we want to be in a safe place. So we'll be away from the windows. We'll be in a place where we are safe and secure as we ride out this storm and bring you these live updates. Again, a very dark night here at the Naples Grand. A lot of the streets as we were driving here, very bare. That bar that we took you to earlier, there's still a pretty big crowd there, surprisingly. With the threat of this storm and the winds and the rain picking up, you would think people would be inside taking shelter tonight, being safe. A lot of people still out and about trying to relieve that stress, though, that you get with the storm and all the anxiety that you have. So we're going to be here throughout the night. We'll keep you updated as the rain bands continue to move through. We get heavy rain, we get light rain, and the winds pick up as each band moves through. So it's going to be an interesting night here in North Naples. In North Naples, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now.
All right, Channing, go dry off for a little bit. Thank you very much for that. Many of you have...
Yeah, I can tell you guys, the wind really starting to pick up here. You might be able to hear it. You can certainly see it in the trees behind me. Here comes a pretty strong gust. I'm guessing that we're seeing winds 15, maybe 30 mile per hour gusts. There's a pretty strong one right there. Despite that surge, people are staying behind. We are actually at the Naples Grand Beach Resort. It's about a half a mile from the Gulf of Mexico and a couple dozen feet above sea level here, in my estimation. Downtown Naples, though, it's a little different. Take a look at this video. While most businesses are boarded up tonight, the old Naples All-American Sports Bar and Grill, well, they were open tonight. We stopped by and found dozens of people who live in Naples getting food and drinks at one of the last places open in this area. One woman I talked with told me that she's been through hurricanes before, and despite the light atmosphere, she is still taking this storm seriously.
But this one is big, and I understand coming in after Harvey that everybody's a little bit more panicked, and it's not that I'm not fearful, but I'm also hopeful.
And just as forecast, those tropical storm force winds, we're beginning to feel them pick up here. That bar said that they plan on staying open until 2 o'clock in the morning as long as supplies hold out and as long as it's safe to do so. But with the winds that we're seeing now, I would say it's probably not safe to do so. You need to be inside taking shelter, which is exactly where we are going to go as soon as we wrap up this live shot here, because the debris is starting to flying through the air and things are beginning to get dangerous. So we're going to head inside right now. Live in North Naples, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now. Well, that's right, Cora. We were outside about 2-3 hours ago, outside in front of the Naples Grand Hotel, which is where we are riding out this storm. Those winds were picking up between 25 and 35 mile per hour gusts, and my photographer and I said, you know what? We don't feel safe. We're going to go inside. So we are here inside the lobby of the hotel. We've got the escalators going up to the second floor. I'm going to say that's 30 to 40 feet above the lobby's entrance. We're not really too concerned about the storm surge here. Even though we're only about a half a mile from the Gulf of Mexico here, you got Clam Pass Park separating us between the Gulf and the rest of Naples here. So we're looking forward to the estuary protecting us here. That's not stopping us from hearing the winds, though. The doors here, the hotel staff, they've been fantastic. They have been taking steps to keep us safe. They locked these doors. They are safe and secure. I don't know if you can hear it on my microphone, but you can hear the wind just kind of whistling through the tiny little openings that are in these doors, like all of our doors here. I look outside. It's very dark. It's hard to see anything. I apologize if you're trying to see what's going on here. The palm fronds, they're whipping around. We were out back earlier. We saw a little bit of bark being tossed around by the high winds. But being in this hotel during a hurricane, I have to confess, I'm from the north. I've never been through a real hurricane. This is my first one here in Florida. And this place is cleared out. There are a few dozen people here, and the hotel staff has a plan in place. They will move us to a ballroom on the second floor in case things on the upper floors get too dangerous. If those winds start putting the windows in danger. I was told by somebody who has experience with hotels and hurricanes that even if the windows don't break, the wind can be so strong it can drive the water through any tiny little crevices, nooks, and crannies in those windows and still get water inside, so you want to maybe keep that in mind. If you didn't put shutters on your windows and you're hoping they won't break, and that water might still find a way in. So we are feeling very confident. We are feeling very safe here in North Naples. We are high enough, we're not worried about the surge, and we know that there is a plan in place to keep all of us safe. That some of the hotel staff, they even have their families staying here to keep them safe, because in these conditions, there's nowhere else to go. And if you're not in a safe place by now, you just got to hunker down and do your best to protect yourself and your family as these conditions continue to deteriorate. Live in North Fort Myers, or North Naples, rather, Channing Frampton, Wink News Now.
It's been a long night, Channing. I'm glad you feel safe. You know, you talked about, and we unfortunately can't pick it up on the microphone right now, you talked about those whistling noises from the wind. When did you really, because you've been down there for at least 24 hours now, when did you really start to hear that and notice the change in that wind pattern?
That's a good question. We checked in here about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it was just like another beautiful day in Southwest Florida. There was a little bit of a breeze. It was really this morning when we woke up. It was kind of cloudy. You could see that the winds had shifted. They were coming out of the northeast, and the waves were coming out of the northeast, coming down the beach. And it was probably right around lunchtime, late this afternoon, when we came back here after doing some reporting down in downtown Naples. When they closed these doors, that's when we could really start to hear it. Maybe you've been in an old house, you know, when the wind picks up, you can hear it whistling through the vents in your air conditioning or your heating system. That's kind of what it sounds like, and it rises and it falls with the winds here. So it's a very, very eerie sound that you hear people talking about when they go through hurricanes.
And Channing, you know, give us a sense. I mean, you've talked to so many people, I'm sure, in there. Are a lot of people from, you know, the local area that are taking shelter there in that hotel, or are they coming from different counties? What are they most fearful about?
Well, actually, Corey, they before this storm really started to ramp up yesterday, they sent emails out to all of their guests, and they said, hey, we are under a mandatory evacuation. We encourage you to take shelter elsewhere because we're so close to the Gulf. So they were encouraging guests who were from out of the area to go find a shelter of their own or get back home if they could, checking out early. So they're taking steps to keep people who are not from this area safe. Meanwhile, people who are staying here who are in the hotel industry, the people I've talked to, they have experience with this. I talked to one man, he had been through Hurricane Ike back in 2008, and he talked about steps that hotels, they have these drills that they go through. When we got back here earlier this evening, the whole team, that's the skeleton staff that's here, they were going through a safety security drill, so they know what to do should things get too dangerous for the several dozen people that are staying here. So they are prepared, they rehearsed for this, and they're ready to go.
All right, thanks so much, Channing.